Snooker's a major sporting spectacle these days through its hours of television coverage, big crowds and enormous prize money. It's a son which has outgrown its father. But the three-ball game of billiards lives on, rarely seen on television but still handing down its own special skills from generation to generation. Fred Davis has been a professional billiards and snooker player for over 60 years. For almost all that time, snooker's reigned supreme, and during it, Fred Davis has been king of snooker 8 times as world champion. A Derbyshire man by birth and now in his 70s, Fred lives on a farm near Denbigh in North Wales. It's a life of peace and tranquility, far removed from the tensions and pressures of the tournament circuit. But with his lifelong professional discipline, Fred still practices almost daily on his table at home. In 1980, at the age of 67, he won the World Professional Billiards Championship, thus emulating his elder brother Joe, the only player previously to win both the billiards and snooker titles. Fred still competes on the professional snooker circuit, but retains a special affection for the three-ball game.
Billiards is one of continuity, and whereas snooker, as you well know, each frame of snooker is different, and it's a game that only lasts for 15-20 minutes at the most.
Many historians believe that the origins of billiards lie here in the ancient game of croquet, though no one's exactly sure how it started. There are references to various ball and stick games in Latin and Old French, and Shakespeare's Cleopatra suggests let's to billiards. Maybe it was her second favourite indoor sport. But the most persuasive theory about the origins of billiards is that it was an indoor version of croquet, a popular pastime with the French and English nobility, but one which unfortunately couldn't be played in adverse weather conditions, and certainly not in the dark. Louis XI of France owned a billiard table of sorts early in the 15th century. Note the arch on the table, which is very like a croquet hoop, and look closely too at the hitting implement, which is rather like a mallet. It was called a mace. Roger Lee, a leading collector of billiards and snooker memorabilia, explains how it was used.
Well, they'd simply place the head of the mace on the table with the butt end over their shoulder, and they would trail their head across and push the balls through in that manner.
Didn't it occur to anybody that it might be easier to use the other end?
Eventually, it took about 2 centuries to do so. I mean, it took them 2 centuries to take this end off and use the cue more or less as we have today. But even then, they